Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. This week's episode of General Hospital was brief but packed with action. Never believe anyone who tells you that a lot can't happen in 3 days on a soap. Christina's illusions cause her to. Hi, Christina. Ava did not push you out of the window. You, Ava, and Rick all know it, and it looks that your family and the jury do as well. Remember when Christina sat in the PCPD interrogation room and had flashbacks about her fall? Christina's expression conveyed that she was the sole cause of her accident, and that it was genuinely an accident. It was a horrible, horrific accident. But Christina refuses to recognize that she caused the accident by storming into Ava's hotel room and making angry demands and threats, so here we are. In a courtroom with Ava on trial, the only thing she did wrong was try to hide the fact that she was sleeping with a rogue FBI agent who went on to kidnap her a few weeks later. Watching Rick rip Christina apart on the stand was impressive, but hearing Christina cry about her baby in front of Molly and TJ made us want to throw things at the TV. How did TJ sit there, not wanting to do the same thing? Maybe he did, but it wasn't part of the script, so he couldn't. However, we truly need to know, where is the Metro Court pool? We were initially informed it was on the roof, then Christina fell through the window and into the pool. So we assumed there were 2 towers, and the pool was on the shorter one. Maybe? This week, we learned that Christina had fallen 3 stories, which we accepted. Then we learned she had fallen from a 3rd-story window. How did she manage to land in a pool that was supposed to be on the roof? Make sure it makes sense. Where has the other Molly gone? We're confident Molly is requesting the same thing. Make sure it makes sense. However, this Molly is not the same Molly from baby Irene's funeral, nor is she the Molly who spent the following 2 months bickering with her sister and shaming her all over Port Charles. No, Molly is doing exactly what she accuses Alexis of doing, coddling her hot mess of a big sister who was ready to grab her baby before diving into the pool. Even Molly realized quickly that Christina had caused her own fall, and Ava had not pushed her. Christina was still in the hospital, yelling and raving about big, terrible Ava, when Molly saw photos of the incident and realized right away that Christina was the aggressor during the confrontation. Molly is now concerned that Christina, the delicate flower, may fall apart if Ava is allowed to wander free. As a lawyer, Molly should not want someone in jail who she knows is innocent, but here we are. A story that abruptly shifts direction is typical of GH. Lulu's wonderful, enchanting journeys. Confused and bewildered. Lulu was the other emphasis over Thanksgiving week, with her medical science-defying recovery taking center stage. Merely a day after opening her eyes for the first time in 4 years, Lulu didn't merely lift her arm and get out of bed. She strolled right out of Turning Wood without being noticed, got to the side of the road, changed her clothes, and didn't become sick from a lollipop. After 4 years with a feeding tube and a brand new liver, you'd think all that sugar would bother her. But no, not our Lulu. As a trooper, she let herself into her house before making her way to the Quartermain estate and letting herself in the front entrance. Did Laura pay for high-tech physical therapy several times every day? If she didn't, we've concluded that Lulu is not human. That's the only explanation here. Let us suspend our disbelief. Can we claim we are enjoying Lulu's recuperation now that we have dealt with the craziness of it? If you ignore all of the frivolous details, Lulu's voyage back home or wherever she ends up has been anything from boring. It was a short soap week, but Lulu accomplished a lot, and GH wasted no time in informing some of the most important people that she was back among the living. James met Aunt Lulu but didn't know who she was. However, if their scenes together are any indication, James and Lulu may make excellent sparring partners. Little Gary Fuller is the soap kid find of the decade, and he will undoubtedly give Spitfire Lulu a run for her money, just like he does for his mother, Maxie. Of course, our hearts warmed when beautiful Rocco discovered his mom standing in the Q living room. We had to watch the look of shock and excitement on his face over and over. It reminded us of when a teenage Lulu saw Laura for the first time after she awoke from her catatonic state. On Monday, Lulu learns that it is no longer 2020. For the majority of us, this is a positive thing. For Lulu, not so much. Cyrus, we like you now. Just a short shout out to Cyrus for putting Lucky in his place and exposing him for the scum that he is. We don't know what Cyrus is up to with Lulu, and we won't like him again if we find out he killed Sam. However, someone other than Elizabeth needed to tell Lucky the truth about his deadbeat ways. The expression on Elizabeth's face when Cyrus questioned Lucky's commitment to family told it all. Drew is still you. Drew did not stalk Willow this week, sleep with her mother, or mistreat his child. However, he attempted to bribe Michael into liking him again by offering him the Aurora CEO position while disparaging his friend Curtis. At least Michael was astute and smarmy enough to record Drew's remarks and play them back for Curtis. Let's see how these two work together to teach Drew a lesson before Michael learns one as well. Oh Michael, Sasha has something to tell you. Michael can't go home and tell Willow about his issues because she cheated on him. Does Michael forget that he has also cheated on her? Sasha has a major surprise in store for him, so he won't forget for long. Yes, Sasha is pregnant because that is what happens to her after a drunken one-night stand. Hopefully, this pregnancy will not have the same awful outcome as her previous one, but she may have a baby daddy issue. After GH opted to make Michael a father again, Chad Duell left the show, and Michael will be written off at the start of the new year. Where does this leave Sasha? What about her baby? Is Michael's departure going to make Sasha the poster child for soap-tortured characters again? We almost expect it while also dreading it. Don't do that, GH, or we'll have to throw rocks at the screen, and we don't want to damage our televisions. Till next week, when Lulu discovers she has 2 adolescent children, and that's just the beginning. Sit down, Lulu, and relax. It'll be a while. She urged Michael to reconcile with his family and return Avery to Sunny. When Sabrina became pregnant, Michael was thrilled to be a father, but he was disappointed to hear that the baby was actually Carlos Rivera's. She left town with Carlos, and Michael and Sunny went to Puerto Rico to bring her home. But Michael's pleasure with her and their infant Teddy was shattered when Sabrina was murdered by Paul Hornsby, and he allowed the baby to be reared by Carlos' brother, Joe Rivera. Michael was further devastated when Morgan was murdered in a car explosion. Michael grew close to Nellie Hayes, but they split up when it was discovered that she was Carly's adopted sister and was out for vengeance. After a while, he gave her another chance, and things appeared promising for the couple until she announced her pregnancy. But Michael soon realized that Nellie was still trying to get Carly out of her life and was willing to go to any length to do this. Working with Officer Harrison Chase to capture Nellie's confession that she had arranged up Carly's arrest and imprisonment in Ferncliff, Michael obtained the necessary proof but then crashed their car. Nellie abandoned Michael for dead, and when Sunny rescued him and took him to the hospital, she presented him with the baby she had just given birth to, which had perished. Michael was distraught, unaware that Nellie had bumped into Brad Cooper and replaced her living infant with Wiley, his adopted son who had died unexpectedly. While Nellie was in prison, Michael attended a grief support group at the hospital, where he met and befriended Willow Tate, Wiley's birth mother. He also lent Christina money, which he subsequently regretted after discovering she was using it to further her involvement in Dawn of Day, a hazardous cult. Michael fell for Sasha Gilmore, but their romance was cut short when it was discovered that she had been lying about being Nina's long-lost daughter. He eventually forgave Sasha, and the two confessed their love for each other. Then Michael's world was thrown upside down once more when the baby switch was disclosed and he discovered that Wiley was truly his son. Adjusting to raising the boy at the Quartermain house grew even more difficult when Nellie was released on parole and stated she would battle for custody of their son. Michael hired Diane to assist him win the custody battle, and when he was told that marrying Sasha wouldn't help due of her questionable background, he married Willow instead. Despite Nellie's decision to marry Julian to compete, Michael and Willow were granted custody of Wiley. Nellie attempted to kidnap her son, but Michael apprehended her and rescued Wiley while Carly witnessed Nellie fall off a cliff. Back home and protected with his son, Michael found himself pulled to Willow despite their plan. After discovering that Chase and Sasha had lied about having sex to bring them together, Michael and Willow reconsidered and signed annulment papers, though he allowed her to stay in the Quartermain gatehouse so she could be close by. Michael opted not to rejoin with Sasha since he had fallen in love with Willow, and they eventually confessed their feelings to each other. Michael had decided to keep Nina out of Wiley's life after she told him she was his grandmother, but when Jax discovered him with Willow, he used it as leverage to force Michael to let Nina visit. Then Michael agreed with Willow that she should marry Chase because he was dying. So, after he made it through, the couple had to sneak around behind him. Naturally, Chase caught them together and things became heated before he and Willow agreed to part ways amicably. Michael was also concerned about Austin Holt's attempts to claim his half of the Quartermain riches, but he let Chase give Austin the proof he discovered in the house. Michael and Willow moved into the gatehouse together, but when he tried to propose, she said she wasn't ready for marriage. She was particularly outraged when he surreptitiously took action to hold Nina accountable for her crimes against his family. Sonny attempted to make amends, but Michael was unable to forgive his father for choosing Nina, and he eventually cut him out of his life. When Nina sued for Wiley's visitation rights, Michael arranged for Smoltz, the reporter he had previously punched out, to publish a tell-all about all of her dirty laundry. He also planned an ELQ/Aurora Media merger with Drew Kane to compel Valentine Cassadine to leave the family firm. As the visitation hearing began, Michael was still unhappy at Sonny for siding with Nina, and he was content to let Diane tear into them both on the stand during testimony. Even after Scott brought up his own criminal background, Michael was desperate to keep Nina away from Wiley. Finally, the judge ruled in his favor, and Michael felt vindicated. It was also discovered that Sonny's new employee, Dex, was covertly working for Michael to bring down his father. While Ned and Valentine worked together to prevent the ELQ/Aurora merger, Michael was relieved to find that Willow was pregnant. He was unaware that she was not providing him with whole information. Michael was heartbroken when Willow eventually admitted she had leukemia and had waited to take treatment until their baby was safe, but he swore to support her nonetheless. Michael proposed, and she joyfully accepted. He was startled when Drew revealed Nina was Willow's birth mother, and he struggled to forgive Carly for keeping that information hidden. When Willow nearly died during childbirth, Michael's pleadings for her to return to him saved her from entering the light. The couple named their baby daughter Amelia Grace. As Michael and Willow prepared their wedding, he was surprised to see that Dex and Jocelyn were romantically linked. At Willow's request, he allowed Sonny to attend the ceremony but not Nina. Following the lovely wedding, Carly was detained by the SEC for insider trading, spoiling the celebration. Michael told a troubled Willow about his plot to bring down Sonny, and she convinced him not to utilize the information he and Dex had gathered. Joss scolded Michael of endangering Dex's life by failing to bring Sonny down, but he remained steadfast. He also confessed to Carly and handed her the flash drive containing the proof, which she destroyed. Following Willow's successful bone marrow transplant, Michael brought her home to heal, and they gradually resumed their lives together. Despite his reservations about Nina, Michael had a heart-to-heart with Sonny in an attempt to reconcile with his father. He even attended Sonny and Nina's wedding, only to discover that Nina was the one who turned Carly and Drew over to the SEC. After obtaining Martin Gray to confirm it, Michael played Nina his video of the discussion and warned her he'd only stay quiet if she agreed to stay away from Willow. Drew was released from prison early because he wanted to move on from the whole situation, so Michael did not tell him about Nina. Drew then announced his intention to unite Aurora and ELQ again, which naturally irritated Ned because they did business behind his back. When Nina revealed to Michael that Ned was blackmailing her with her secret in order to obtain information about Aurora that he might use, Michael agreed to provide her with some fabricated material to send along. On New Year's Eve, Lois disclosed Nina's secret, and Michael's 2024 got off to a bumpy start when Willow found he'd known for a long time and had used the information to force Nina to stay away from her and Wiley. Brooklyn Quartermain has been carrying a secret for years that has weighed heavily on her. Her strong-willed, confident persona conceals a fragile side that is rarely seen even by those closest to her. After a heated confrontation with Chase in which he accuses her of concealing something essential, Brooklyn decides it's time to come clean. The atmosphere is intimate, a quiet evening at the Quartermain mansion, with the distant buzz of a busy family but no one to disturb them. Chase, already skeptical after overhearing a portion of Brooklyn and Tracy's angry chat, confronts her and demands the truth. Brooklyn asks Chase, "Do you want honesty?" "Fine. But I need you to really listen, because once I tell you, there's no turning back." She begins with a trembling voice. She describes how, in her early 20s, she became pregnant during a brief engagement. Her family, notably her grandmother Tracy, argued that having a kid outside of marriage would ruin the Quartermaine name. The pressure was intense, and with no support system, Brooklyn felt she had no choice except to place the baby for adoption. Brooklyn admitted, "I wasn't ready to be a mother. They made it plain that keeping the baby was not an option. I believed I was doing the right thing, but not a day goes by that I don't wonder where they are, whether they're okay, and if they despise me." Chase is startled, his emotions whirling with amazement, empathy, and anger, not at Brooklyn, but at the family structures that compelled her to make such a decision. Act 2, the fallout. Chase takes time to ponder his revelation. While he admires Brooklyn's candor, he struggles to reconcile this secret with the lady he knows. Their already tenuous relationship will be put to the test again. Chase subsequently said, "Brooke, it's not about what you did back then, it's about why you didn't trust me enough to tell me earlier. I understand your family might be overpowering, but I'm not them. I am here for you." Meanwhile, word of Brooklyn's confession spreads among the Quartermaines, igniting a firestorm. Tracy tries to play down the situation, but Ned, Brooklyn's father, is horrified to discover the truth. He approaches her, hurt and sorry for the part his family played in her decision. Ned says, "Brooklyn, I failed you. As your father, I should have been your safe haven, but instead I let the family to control your life. I'm very sorry." Brooklyn believes it is time to take control of her story. With Chase's hesitant backing, she begins looking for her child, hoping to guarantee they are happy. Act 3, the journey to healing. The quest for the child entails additional turmoil and suffering. Brooklyn realizes that the child has been adopted by a loving family, but contacting them is difficult. The adoptive parents are first skeptical, suspecting Brooklyn's motives. Brooklyn, pleading, "I don't want to disrupt their life or separate them from you. I just need to know they are okay. That I didn't ruin their lives before they even started." Parallel to this, Chase and Brooklyn's bond develops stronger as they travel together. Chase demonstrates what unconditional support looks like, and Brooklyn learns to trust and rely on him. Climax and resolution. Brooklyn eventually has a chance to meet with her child, who is now a teenager and has conflicting feelings about the situation. The meeting is raw and emotional, with no simple answers, but it is a step toward closure for Brooklyn. The incident also strengthens her friendship with Chase. His steady presence demonstrates to her that she is capable of moving beyond her previous mistakes and regrets. Chase tells Brooklyn, "You no longer need to face your battles alone. I'm here for everything, good, horrible, and in between." The narrative finishes with Brooklyn finding solace in knowing her child is happy and loved. Though she does not become a part of their lives, she feels a weight lifted, finally free to live genuinely and totally with Chase by her side. Michael Corinthos' unexpected death sends shockwaves through Port Charles, causing a ripple effect that changes the lives of those closest to him. His sad, unexpected, and mysterious death unleashes a whirlwind of grief, remorse, and buried emotions, setting off an explosive domino effect that changes relationships and alliances throughout the canvas. A newly formed love triangle involving Jason Morgan, Willow Tate, and Sasha Gilmore is at the center of the upheaval as they attempt to navigate their grief while confronted with unspoken wants and unsolved history. The tragedy. Michael's death was unexpected and devastating. The Corinthos family is reeling from a freak accident, which could have been the product of foul play. For Willow, his wife and partner, the loss is terrible. Willow feels as if her entire world has fallen after they built a beautiful home together, raised Wiley as their son, and overcome numerous hurdles. Sasha, Michael's ex-girlfriend and previously close friend, is dealing with a flood of remorse, shame, and residual sentiments for the guy she once loved. Jason, Michael's uncle and stalwart guardian of the Corinthos family, is overwhelmed by a combination of grief and duty. While others publicly mourn, Jason uses his pain to seek answers, desperate to discover the truth about Michael's death. But as the days progress into weeks, Jason becomes further drawn into the lives of Willow and Sasha, both of whom are fighting to cope in their own way. Willow's grief and Jason's support. Willow, overcome by grief, becomes a shadow of her former self. She isolates herself, focusing all of her efforts on being a mother to Wiley while struggling to confront her own emotions. Jason intervenes, initially out of a sense of obligation to his family. He begins spending more time with Willow, assisting Wiley and providing calm, steady support. Willow finds safety in Jason. His calm temperament and ability to listen without judgment enable her to open up in a manner she hasn't been able to do with others. Late-night chats at the Corinthos house lead to long walks and shared times of silent introspection. Slowly but steadily, an emotional link develops between them, one that neither is fully prepared to admit. Sasha's struggle and new connections. Meanwhile, Sasha is facing her own issues. She's filled with remorse, blaming herself for how things ended with Michael and questioning whether she should have pushed harder for their relationship. At the same time, she feels compelled to be present for Willow and Wiley, to honor Michael's legacy by supporting the family he left behind. Sasha begins spending more time at the mansion, assisting Willow with Wiley and providing her own brand of caring, but raw, support. However, as she reconnects with Jason during these encounters, old sentiments that she thought were suppressed begin to reappear. Jason, who has always respected Sasha's grit and resilience, finds himself pulled to her once more. Their shared sadness sparks an unforeseen connection, affecting Jason's developing relationship with Willow. The love triangle takes shape. The relationship between Jason, Willow, and Sasha becomes more complex. Willow, who is still mourning Michael, realizes that her feelings for Jason are more than just appreciation. She's divided between her devotion to Michael's memory and her burgeoning feelings for the man who has been her rock in the aftermath of his death. Sasha, on the other hand, is filled with jealousy and sadness as she watches Jason and Willow becoming closer. She tells herself that her feelings for Jason are only a reflection of her sadness over Michael, but she knows it's more than that. Jason, ever the stoic guardian, tries to suppress his own emotions, knowing the consequences of acting on them. However, as the tension between the three of them rises, Jason is compelled to confront his feelings. His commitment to Michael and sense of responsibility to Willow mix with his undeniable attraction to Sasha, putting him in an impossible situation. Complicating factors. External forces further complicate the love triangle. Carly, Michael's mother, has strong beliefs about what's best for Willow and Wiley, and she's not afraid to speak them. Carly accepts Jason's presence in Willow's life, but she is dubious of Sasha's intentions, afraid she will break the family's delicate balance. At the same time, Nina Reeves, Sasha's former mentor and a character connected to Willow through their own complicated history, becomes interested in the scenario. Nina notices Sasha's distress and attempts to help her, but her intervention just fuels the fire. Michael's death is a mystery, which adds to the stress. Jason's investigation reveals alarming details that might change everything, including who may have been responsible and how it relates to the lives of individuals he is now involved with. The breaking point. The love triangle reaches a breaking point during an emotionally heated occasion. Perhaps it's a family reunion or a memorial ceremony for Michael, where emotions run strong and long-buried feelings emerge. Willow, overcome with loss and confusion, ultimately expresses to Jason that she feels more than friendship for him. Willow tears up as she says, "You've been there for me in unexpected ways, and I don't know what I'd do without you. But whenever I feel something, I feel as if I'm betraying Michael. And it is tearing me apart." Jason, battling with his own emotions, attempts to console her, but Sasha overhears their talk. Hurt and enraged, she confronts Jason, accusing him of leading them both astray. Sasha, angry, "I thought you were different, Jason. I thought you understood what it meant to be loyal and respect Michael's wishes. But perhaps I was mistaken." Resolution and fallout. Following the confrontation, all three characters are forced to reflect on themselves and their relationships. Willow resolves to distance herself from Jason and Sasha in order to focus on her own rehabilitation and mothering responsibilities. Sasha, understanding that her affections for Jason may have been a means for her to avoid sadness, chooses to leave Port Charles for a while in search of clarity and purpose. Jason, ever the guardian, stays at the heart of the Corinthos family, but he resolves to put the family's stability ahead of his own. He continues to support Willow, but their relationship is characterized by friendship and mutual respect rather than romantic potential, at least for the time being. Future possibilities. The love triangle creates unanswered issues and tensions that may reappear in the future. Will Willow and Jason ever discuss their emotions for each other? Could Sasha return to Port Charles with renewed confidence and determination to win Jason's heart? And how will Michael's death continue to affect those he leaves behind? This plotline provides great emotional depth and opportunity for character development, laying the groundwork for future drama in the ever-changing world of General Hospital. Liz tried to calm things down, but Cyrus couldn't give her any information about where Lulu was. Lucky later got a piece of the Turning Woods camera video sent to his phone by email and watched it. After watching it together, Lucky and Liz were shocked to see that Lulu had woken up and left on her own. Brooklyn Quartermaine and Harrison Chase fell in love more than once at the Quartermaine farm as they tried to improve their chances of having a child. Brooklyn's look was unsettling, but Chase was excited about fatherhood and happy that they were experiencing this together for the first time. Then, on Wednesday's GH episode, Olivia Quartermaine talked about how great it would be for Lois to have her first baby. But Lois seemed to be keeping a secret, just like Brooklyn. When Alexis Davis finally stood up and tried to stop Rick Lansing from bothering Christina Corinthos Davis while she was testifying, the judge said she would be held in contempt of court. Even though Alexis resisted a bit more, Sonny Corinthos finally led her away. Molly Lansing Davis predicted to TJ Ashford during a recess that Christina would never be able to forgive herself if Ava Jerome's acquittal was due to her own evidence. Soon after, Molly told Christina that her sister could go home now, but Christina refused. Natalia Ramirez got back on the stand when Rick played her 911 call and asked her to confirm that she had been in an accident with Christina. But Natalia cooked up a tale about being distracted by her daughter's SMS and lied that she was to blame for the accident. As Rick questioned Natalia, she tried her best to hide yet another instance of Christina's unstable behavior. A furious Christina went to face Ava about the subpoena because she wanted to protect Sonny after Rick forced Molly to confess while she was on the witness stand. Ava admitted to grasping Christina's arm before she jerked away, fell over the bag, and fell out the window during her statement. In order to keep the FBI agent she was interacting with out of this, Ava also admitted that she had traded the bag for shoes. Nevertheless, Ava exaggerated how she had lost a daughter and would never want anyone to experience that pain. Ava seems truly saddened by the loss of Christina's unborn child after apologizing for the way the face-off had gone. In closing remarks, Rick maintained that this was a terrible accident, but the ADA pressed for Ava to be found guilty of manslaughter. Molly looked to have changed her mind after the incident and told TJ that she thought this was a tragedy. According to General Hospital spoilers, Molly will need to process everything that has happened, so tune in for more drama. Updates and spoilers for Monday, December 2's episode of General Hospital hint to tense arguments, family reunions, and anxious moms. TJ Ashford and Molly Lansing Davis are having a heated argument, Laura Collins is in a panic, and Lulu Spencer is having a great time at a family reunion. Spoilers for General Hospital, preemptions and encore episodes. On Thanksgiving Day, which is tomorrow, fans can see the July 29, 2024 rebroadcast of the show. But college sports will take over Friday's schedule. While Trina Robinson continues to deal with her own set of problems, James West Gary James Fuller starts to recognize the underlying familial conflicts in this encore episode. In the meantime, Dante Falconeri is faced with a moral conundrum, and Sasha Corbin tries to keep Cody Bell on track. In addition, Jason Morgan embarks on a new mission while Tracy Quartermaine gets an unexpected gift. GH spoilers, anxious moms. Laura is in a panic as she runs to Lucky Spencer, who is obviously playing the Turning Woods movie for her. She claims to Lucky that unless she was truly in danger, Lulu would never have tried to leave the facility. Cyrus Renault confronted Lucky, but Cyrus denied knowing about Lulu's escape, which was the truth. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.